What Gog and Magog Revealed, Israel Today, Part 2. In our last video, we saw that the return of the Jews to Israel in our time is in the Bible. The identity of Gog and Magog was discussed, and Gog and Magog will attack Israel. There's also something in the scriptures that lines up with this, which is mentioned in Ezekiel. It talks about Gog and Magog coming to attack a nation that has been rebuilt from destruction and a place that is desolate and uninhabited. This is referring to Israel, which was a barren land and uninhabited. Like I said earlier, from 70 AD until 1948, the Jews were scattered worldwide. The Promised Land was not in their control, and that's what God was pointing out to Ezekiel, a place that was once empty and uninhabited. I encourage you to do your own research and think critically. I share insights from reliable sources and experts, promoting values like respect, fairness, peace, freedom, and life. My goal is to encourage thoughtful discussion, not arguments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. However, believing in something without examining it first indicates a lack of critical thinking. Let's learn together. Feel free to comment and explore with me, whether you're here for fun or to learn more. Remember to engage with information and form your own conclusions. As we continue, first off, Persia covers what is now a modern country, which is right now Iran and all its allies like Afghanistan and Pakistan. Second, there's Ethiopia, which in our time is still Ethiopia, and all its allies, like Sudan and maybe Somalia. Third is Libya, which is still Libya today and all its allies. The fourth group is Gomer, which may be Turkey with all its allies. In Ezekiel's day, Gomer was a tribal group of people who were located in the central part of what you and I know today as the nation of Turkey. Gomer is linked to ancient peoples from areas north of Israel. In the future, Gomer will join a group of nations that will oppose Israel, and this group is always described as coming from the north. The fifth group is Beth Togarmah, which is also Turkey with all its allies. Beth Togarmah means house or place of Togarmah in Hebrew. It is mainly linked to Turkey, especially the southeastern area near the Syrian border. Some interpretations also connect it to Turkic-speaking peoples in Central Asia, including regions of modern-day Turkey and Armenia. The prophecy in Ezekiel 38 generally describes an invasion coming from the north. The leader of this coalition, Gog from Magog, is said to come from your place out of the north parts. So what was said in the verse is correct. Gomer and its army and Beth Togarmah extended all the way up to the northern borders. Turkey is in the north of Israel. This aligns perfectly with what the Bible says. The allied nations that will attack Israel are Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, which are part of ancient Persia, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Somalia, which are ancient Ethiopia. It shows here that the communist country of Russia and its allies, the Islamic and Arab nations in our present time, are the enemies of the nation of Israel, as prophesied in the Bible. And it is here where God will put to an end the Islamic and Arab-Israel conflict, which has had no end for a long time. In Ezekiel 39:9, then the people in the towns of Israel will go out and pick up your small and large shields, bows and arrows, javelins and spears, and they will use them for fuel. There will be enough to last them 7 years. In Ezekiel 39:11-12, after Gog has been destroyed, I will bury him and his army in Israel, in Travelers Valley, east of the Dead Sea. That graveyard will be so large that it will block the way of anyone who tries to walk through the valley, which will then be known as the Valley of Gog's Army. The Israelites will spend 7 months burying dead bodies and cleaning up their land. This passage shows that Gog, Russia, and the Islamic and Arab nations will be defeated. Their weapons will be used as fuel for 7 years by the Israelites. The Israelites will bury the bodies of their enemies, which will take 7 months. Dive into stories that challenge the norm and spark curiosity on my channel. Unlike others, I offer meticulously researched narratives that entertain and enlighten. Here, you're not just a viewer. You're part of a community of curious thinkers who dare to ask big questions. What sets us apart? In-depth analysis, engaging storytelling, and a vibrant community of explorers. Don't miss out. Subscribe now to join this intellectual journey. Together, let's uncover hidden truths and embark on an adventure of the mind. There is also a mention of Gog and Magog in Revelation 20, 8-10, and will go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, whose number is as the sand of the sea. They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. The devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. It's also important to understand that Gog and Magog in the book of Ezekiel are different from what's mentioned in the book of Revelation. The battle in the book of Ezekiel mentions that some of the armies will come from the north and will also involve several nations, while the battle in the book of Revelation mentions that all the nations are involved, that has armies from all directions. All the countries with armies from every direction are involved. This is the place or direction from the four corners of the world, north, east, west, and south, that Satan will gather for a battle. Their numbers will be like the grains of sand by the sea, to attack and seize the holy nation. Satan is not mentioned in the verses of the book of Ezekiel. In Revelation, this passage clearly names Satan or the devil as the main character. If the battle in the book of Ezekiel is the same as mentioned in Revelation, there's no need to bury the dead for 7 months, and there's no need for the weapons of the enemies of Israel to be used as fuel for 7 years. The battle in Revelation mentions that fire that came down from God and also mentions the lake of fire and brimstone. Could it be that Russia, the Islamic countries like Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, the Arab countries like Sudan, Somalia, Libya, and other countries like Turkey and Ethiopia might be what Ezekiel was talking about when he said that God would allow them to attack Israel? In Daniel 9:27, we can read, "That ruler will have a firm agreement with many people for 7 years, and when half this time is past, he will put an end to sacrifices and offerings. The awful horror will be placed on the highest point of the temple and will remain there until the one who put it there meets the end which God has prepared for him." Could it be that the ruler quoted here is the Antichrist? And could this Antichrist be a strong member or figurehead of the United Nations or group of nations, or a leader of a powerful and influential country? And could it be that he will be the instrument to strike a deal or peace treaty with Israel? There is also a mention of sacrifices and offerings in the temple. So will there be a temple? Could this Antichrist make discussions of peace between the Jews and its enemies and will allow the building of the third temple, which the Jews are hoping for? It is common knowledge that the Jews want to build their temple right where the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque are. But these are sacred places and structures to all Muslims. That area is considered to be a holy land for Muslims. Many Muslims in the Middle East will be furious with the building of this third temple, and they cannot allow this to happen. When the 7-year covenant of the Antichrist for peace is done, at first there's really going to be peace in the Middle East. If you enjoyed this video and can't wait to see more, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps me know you're loving the content. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss part 3 of what Gog and Magog revealed Israel today. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. It's going to be epic. Thanks for being part of this journey, and I'll see you in the next one.